Hello everybody and welcome back. Today I will be streaming myself painting some Eldar Corsairs. The last couple of days I was doing some building, but we're back to painting today. And yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Otherwise, I'll just be painting away. So the step that I'm on right now. So this is, whoops, knocking things off my desk. Cool. So this is the Exarch. That's the name for like the squad leader for Eldar, and I painted this guy up as like a test model. That's kind of what I do because the squad leaders are generally more ornate. They have more details. It's exciting for me to paint, so I can really kind of focus in and paint and figure out like what I want to do with all the details. Because if something's gonna be on a regular squad member, it'll generally be on the sergeant's model as well, and then the sergeant or the squad leader's model will have extra stuff on top to make him extra fancy. So it's a good way to think through what color am I going to paint each part, and how am I going to do it. So mostly everything's just base coated, but then I spent extra time on the armor and the blue robes, because those are the two focal points of these models. The bright yellow armor and the blue robes, the blue helmets and stuff. So I wanted to paint those basically as much as I will paint them, just so that I can see how they look. Because if the focal points of the models don't look good, then it kind of doesn't matter what I do with the rest of it. So yeah, I painted up the yellow armor and the robes, and now I'm just going through and doing the same for the rest of the squad. So right now I think I have like, let's see here, 1, 2, I have like 3 models left to do. Applying a shade to the yellow armor, and after that I'll go into like a little bit of highlighting. I'll block in. Actually, I think I'm gonna block in more colors first, and then I'll do highlighting on the yellow armor. And so I took a two-step approach to shading this yellow armor, which so when you're painting brighter colors, most of the focus is on shading, because your midtone is so bright. There's not a lot of room to highlight up. Whereas, you know, if you're painting a dark color, there's lots of room to highlight up. So you'll spend more time highlighting darker colors and shading lighter colors. So for this bright yellow armor, most of my focus is on shading and toning down the recesses, toning down areas that would naturally be in shadow, that kind of thing. So I did two stages of shading. The first stage was with an airbrush, and I did both like a zenithal highlight and an undershade. So that gives like the general lighting on the model. So for example, the top of the arm is brighter than the bottom of the arm. Same kind of thing, like the top of the leg is brighter than the bottom of the leg because the top is, you know, directly in the sunlight, whereas the bottom is only lit by, you know, reflected light. So it's darker. Then I'm coming in with a shade, and I'm doing more more specific shading. So for example, in between each of the armor plates should be a little bit darker because it's like a crevice. And then, you know, they have detailing on their armor that, you know, like that should be shaded so that it pops out more, that kind of thing. So that's why I'm doing, you know, multiple kinds of shading, because they both have different purposes. And because it's such a bright color, I'm spending most of my time shading instead of highlighting up. Hey, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Of course. It's always a good day when it's a Saturday. The last model that I'll be applying the shade to. I can move on. I think I'm going to be base coating the like leather straps and such first, because that's a pretty major part of the models. after the yellow and blue, of course. It's kind of like the next major component, and also the yellow armor looks a bit sloppy because I haven't painted the leather straps and such. And actually the way I'm shading, I'm using two different colors. So for the, overall shade, I applied a, kind of a light brown, this color, to the underside. And then for the shade color, it's like a light orange. And that's because there's kind of two ways to shade yellow. One is with brown and the other is with orange. If you shade too much with orange, then it just looks orange. And we don't want orange armor. We want yellow armor. So that's why I kind of started off shading with brown. And then I came in with like a light orange to apply some more shading. But if you use too much brown, then it's a very desaturated yellow, and that's also something that we don't want. We don't want orange, but we also don't want a desaturated yellow. So the orange applies shading without like desaturating the color. Now I'm going to come in with some dark brown and apply it to all of these leather straps and pouches that are attached to the armor, being very careful not to mess up all the yellow armor that I just did. But this is one of the reasons why I'm not highlighting the yellow armor yet, so that if I were to make a mistake painting these leather straps and such, I'll have less work to fix it. So yeah, it's kind of a balancing act, right? Where it's like how far do I take something before I've painted the rest of the stuff on the model. Generally the answer for me is I'll apply a base coat and a shade, and then I'll paint the rest of the objects on the model. Just because, a base coat and a shade is not a whole lot of work to redo if you make a mistake. You're here before the end of the day? Yeah, no nap today? Well, I'm doing great. How are you doing today? Also great, nice. I saw yesterday that you gifted a sub, and it didn't show up in my streaming software. So I'd like to thank you now for gifting that sub. I appreciate it. I guess there's a few things that my streaming software doesn't quite catch. I'll just have to be aware of that. But anyway, yeah, I'm just having a great time painting these Eldari models. I like the Eldar. It's one of my favorite like factions in Warhammer. And I also don't get a lot of opportunities to paint like yellow armor, so I'm having a great time. I think it's turning out well, so that's helpful. Yeah, so these models are Eldari Corsairs. So they are essentially Eldar pirates, but it's a combination of both like Eldar and Dark Eldar. And you know, I have to say I'm not always a fan of the Dark Eldar components. For example, like this model here has like a reptilian hide cloak, and this is like let's see, where's the other guy? Oh yeah, here. This is like like torn, stitched fabrics. I think it's supposed to be like flayed skin and stuff, but I'm just painting it as fabric. I much prefer the like long flowing cloaks, but like can't complain too much. Yeah, space pirates, let's go. You love to see it. it might not be entirely lore accurate to be painting these models in the theme of a craft world because they are pirates, but there is one faction of the Corsairs that is led by Prince Uriel, who's like a banished prince of the Iandan craft world. So I would like to think that when he left, he brought some Iandan Eldar with him. And that's my headcanon for why these models have this this color scheme. Outside with your dog, it feels great out here. Nice. Yeah, it's always nice when you have you know, like a day of good weather. You can just sit outside and feel the sun. Yeah, I went on a nice walk this morning. It's also fairly nice where I am. It's been like really cold all week, but then just recently it kind of warmed up. And so yeah, I went on a nice walk, got a good breakfast. It's quite nice. Model actually has quite a bit of brown on him, but also this is a Eldari Ranger. So he's actually meant to. He has like a camouflage cloak. I don't think it should be quite this bright blue, but that's okay. I'd like to think that it doesn't really matter what color the cloak is. They use technology to blend in. I especially like when the capes have this like either fur or feathers in this case at the top. I think that looks really nice. think I'm gonna leave the falcon for later, as I do with most things that I'm not quite sure how I want to paint. another model with quite a bit of brown to paint. Marcus Lucas. How's it going? Big hype. Yeah, this model is a psyker, like a support psyker. So it will heal other models and give them more actions, which is pretty cool. It has all these gemstones, like charms. How did I choose yellow for these guys? Pretty sure it's different than the box art. It is. So if you look up Iyanden Eldar, you'll see where I got the color scheme. It's a craft world. So the Eldar are actually on the kind of on the verge of extinction in the current time in 40K. They had a very large. They were the prime, I guess, species in the galaxy or in the universe for a while. They had the best technology. They had the most. There were the most of them. They had the most culture. They had the best warriors. They could navigate space like none other. And then their hubris and their and their pride kind of blinded them from what they were doing, and they fell prey to one of the chaos deities, Slaanesh, and it absolutely obliterated their civilization. So most of the Eldari worlds were destroyed. I'm pretty sure it opened up a giant hole in the fabric of the universe, and created an enormous, it's called like a warp storm. And so, yeah, they, as a race, are generally on the verge of extinction, and they've been, instead of having this yeah, basically they essentially rebirthed Slaanesh from their actions. So now they're, instead of having their own, civilization with, all their planets and such, they're generally restricted to what are called craft worlds, which are essentially enormous ships that are essentially like the size of a planet, in some cases, or it's like a small planet. So one of those craft worlds is Iyanden, they have this, distinct, vibrant yellow armor with like blue helmets and blue cloaks, and even by Eldar standards, the Iyanden are particularly almost extinct. Crazy, nasty, egregious, nefarious work. Yeah, for real. Essentially, they were so prideful that they were like, there's nothing that we could possibly do wrong, and that just led them down a path where they essentially brought ruin to their own civilizations. But yeah, the Iandin are particularly almost extinct because they had a bad run-in with the Tyranids. Essentially, they learned nothing from their fall, and they were like, Tyranids, they won't do anything to us. They're not strong enough to beat us, right? Like, we're so powerful. And then they came face to face with Hive Fleet Kraken and almost got obliterated. They were saved, like other craft worlds had to come in and help them. The Corsairs had to come. It was a whole thing. And so their population is quite reduced. I'll just say. But Iandin was the craft world that came up with. There are these things called Spirit Stones and the Infinity Circuit. So Spirit Stones it's a specially crafted stone that essentially captures the soul of a dead Eldar, so that it can be reused later. And so these Spirit Stones are like a source of power, but also they create these things called Wraith Warriors, which where they take the Spirit Stone with the soul of the Eldar and place it into a machine, and it essentially creates an undead Eldar warrior, called they're like Wraith Guard, Wraith Knights, like Wraith constructs essentially. And so that's how Iandin has been, and the other Eldar have been kind of bolstering their military, even when their population is so low. It's because, they use the souls of dead, they trap the souls of dead Eldar and place them in essentially robots to use them as soldiers. Excuse me for 1 second. I have to do something real quick. Alright, back. Sorry about that. I'm also kind of curious about some of the parts of this model. And just how to paint them. Let's see here. The answer is more brown. But yeah, we were talking about soul stones, and that's why the Eldari will have a lot of gemstones on their armor and such. I believe most of those are soul stones that are there to capture the soul of the Eldar if it should fall in battle. And then they have to, other Eldar have to go collect those soul stones to then be used as wraith constructs. The Iyanden in particular, though, are quite diplomatic with other species. Even like the Imperium, which is known for its hatred of alien species. They have had dealings with, Space Marine chapters and the Imperium as a wider whole. Even like the Grey Knights, who are generally not friends with anybody, have had, like good dealings with the Iyanden craft world. The Iyanden is also one of the main craft worlds that's been trying to bring back the Eldar civilization. They've been trying to colonize worlds and repopulate their race. Whereas other craft worlds, not so much. Bieltan is another craft world. They have green and white armor. They just go around murdering everybody, kind of just for fun. They're like, well, if we're gonna be extinct, you should be extinct too. Solid logic, I guess. the Eldar also have fairly interesting technology. They a lot of what they build stuff with is called Wraithbone. And this is a material that they can essentially craft into just about anything, because it's a material with psychic properties, and so they can they make most things with it. It can be as flexible and soft as like cloth, but it can also be as hard as like steel, just depending on the way that you shape it with psychic abilities. And so actually a good portion of their equipment is crafted from Wraithbone. And is generally one of the reasons that they have such high quality equipment is because of this substance that they use to craft their equipment with. I'm going to take a break from blocking in base colors to start highlighting up some of the yellow. And to do that, I'm be using this. So like this yellow right here is generally like the base color, and then this here will be the first highlight, and this one that I have to redo will likely be the second highlight. And this will mostly just be a general edge highlight. Just to bring some more definition to certain parts of the model. Thank you. Gonna play Space Marine 2 while you watch? Need to level up the guys in operations? Yeah. I'm trying to do the same exact thing. I got the only two that I'm actually leveling up are the tactical and the heavy class. I think those are my two favorites. Like when you just get to, like as the heavy, when you just get to like walk around and just blast everything in sight with like a heavy bolter, like that's peak gameplay. Press W and hold down mouse button 1. Or in this case, I use the controller, so right trigger. But leveling up Vanguard first, but I want to level Assault and Bulwark. Yeah, those are, I think Bulwark's the next one I'm gonna put some levels in. But I need to be doing the substantial difficulty so I can get those purple like whatever purple data points, data something, you know, the purple ones. Yeah, I don't, and so like the only one I can really do that with is my tactical marine, which is like level 15 or 16, I think. So yeah, because some people like sometimes it's just like it's hard to find random people to queue with. If you ever want to play, I'm down. Yeah, I have to see. I think I'm gonna make a sloth gaming like Steam account so I can play games on Steam. So I think I'm gonna try and figure that out and get that up and running. Although maybe that'll reset my progress. Oof. Might have to grind a little bit to get things back. Think Space Marine is cross save? That'd be nice. pause. Doing the more with the yellow, because I really want to block in these gemstones. It's hard to see like what the model will look like when I still have some like unpainted parts. So just blocking in the gemstones with black, I think will help me out here. I just generally need to make more decisions on what I want certain colors to be. Now the gemstones will end up being red, but one of the main ways that the main way that you get like a gemstone effect is by having like a lot of contrast. So starting with a black base coat is generally preferred, because then you're starting with some of the like a little bit of the darkest color already on the gemstone. So as you go brighter, you're getting that nice contrast. I'm gonna end it here for today. Just got a little bit of base coating done and some highlighting on the yellow armor. Well, highlighting and shading. I will continue working on these models tomorrow, where hopefully I'll have a better idea of what I want to do with some of the components. For example, this guy's got like a face mask, he's got hair, the guns, I should block those in as well. So that's mainly what I'll be focusing in on tomorrow, so that these guys will look a little bit more finished instead of just having very nice armor and like cloaks. Everything will be base coated the proper color. But yeah, I had a lot of fun today, and I hope you all did too. I'll be streaming again tomorrow at the same time, and hopefully I'll see you then. But until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. So, bye!